Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Crastinators podcast. We're back again to talk about things. Woo!
Hey,
yeah! All right.
I like things.
I was about to say that, you son of a bitch.
Oh, you stole his thunder. Donnie, how could you betray me like that, Donnie?
Donnie, how could you get your own catchphrase wrong?
I
How
like
you give your own
things.
brother the spicy keychain, Donnie?
I am the best guy ever, as you know. The coolest cat in the Cabbage Patch. That's me. That's my new catchphrase. And I'm joined today by my good buddies. Hypocrite is here,
Hello.
as is Ben Saint.
Oh.
Distinctly not my buddy, you'll notice. And my good friend Jessicles, Endless Jessicles.
Jessicles, named after my testicles.
After your own testicle.
The testicles cometh before the name. And Tom Oliver.
Yeah, I did.
All right, buddy. Okay, so here's our topic. Let's not fuck around. Our topic was a suggestion by this guy on Twitter. He goes by @thehypocrite. Here's a suggestion. @TP Crastinators. I am dying. Help. Do a podcast on when you almost died. So that's a good question.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yes, we got to get that guy on here sometime.
We probably should. Hey, are we gonna get accused of what's the word, nepotism? Is this not cool to take questions from people that you may or may not know? Fuck it. Fuck you, Twitter.
Nobody knows who
But keep asking
actually
questions.
runs the hypocrite Twitter. It wasn't me.
That's
For
true.
sure.
And by the way, peeps, make sure that you send us questions and topic suggestions throughout the week, but especially on Saturdays when we record these things @TP Crastinators. So go do that because we always need more. Anyway.
We're
Hippo,
fucking out. We're
I'm
out
just-
of topics. I mean, we're all washed up.
Yeah,
we're on
we're
our last
scraping the
legs
bottom.
here. You guys got to step up, or this shit, we're gonna hit the ground real hard, real hard.
We were all-
We're coming in for a real rough landing right now.
You know Denzel Washington in that movie Flight, where he has to flip the plane and they do all this crazy shit, and he got drunk, and then there was a big trial about like malpractice as a pilot, and I don't want to lose my kids, okay? I don't want to lose my 7 sexy daughters. So please send me your suggestions, TP Crastinators.
Yeah.
That's what I need to do.
We need a lot of
Hippo.
help. A lot of
I'm
help.
feeling like you might have some suggestions for times that you were almost dying.
That, I mean, yeah, right now, I'm in the moment of death. I'm dying currently on
Wow.
stream,
Oh, no.
on live, because
Wow.
I don't know what I have, and it's the weekend, so I can't go to the doctors. And it's something
Is
about
that-
my
is that how
throat.
that works?
Well, I don't know. Maybe. Maybe they
There's-
probably go home. I just assumed I can't access the medical guy.
That can't be right? I mean, I'm sure hospitals are open, right? Because they're always
yeah,
open.
Yeah,
Hospitals are
hospitals
always
are.
open.
But like the you know, getting
The
a
doctors are only on weekends.
doctor's appointment, a checkup or whatever. But the point
That
is,
immediately strikes me as fully retarded, but yeah,
I'm
fair
probably
enough.
wrong. But anyway, I have been having trouble breathing, and for the last few days I've been trying all sorts of things to try and stop it from making me not sleep and cough all night, and I don't like it.
So the problem is like your throat is like constricting.
What I thought it was that my room was too dusty, so I cleaned my room for a whole day, and then I went to bed and I was like all night. So I was like, no, that's not it. Then
So
it's like
sorry, go ahead, go ahead.
maybe it's a cold. So today
Mm-hmm.
I woke up really late because I couldn't sleep. I woke up at 6 p.m. and I put like this weird like I don't know what it's called, Vicks vapor rub, like
Yeah.
and you put that in a bowl of hot water and you put your head over it with a towel and you just breathe that in for like an hour. And I did that.
So you don't actually involve rubbing on your body anywhere? Vicks vapor
I
rub?
thought you were
Isn't that what
supposed to
that like
rub
is?
it on your chest and then let the vapors rise up
that-
from the chest into
That's
your
how you
nose.
do it for like putting it at sleep time. It is. Yeah.
Oh.
But you can like it's more intense to just put a bowl of hot water and
Okay.
drink that up or
So
sniff that up.
how's that working out?
It didn't do shit. So it's obviously not like something in my throat. It is my throat itself has decided to close, and I don't know how to do anything about it.
Okay,
I'm running out of
I've
breath
got a
as I'm
suggestion.
speaking.
Oh
Okay.
God, I've got a suggestion. So you need to widen up that passageway. I have a tool,
Penises.
a cylindrical tool.
No.
I have a cylindrical tool
No,
that's
Nate.
that's pretty long.
Nate,
I think we can widen that thing up.
Nate,
if I
that's
just get
enough,
that in there.
Nate. That's enough.
You're gay now, Gib. You're gay now. I got you. I got
I
him.
tried to stop him.
You know, I also, when I've been out for runs over the last, I don't know, like 6 months or whatever, very occasionally I will get a thing where I just, like, my lungs don't seem to be absorbing the oxygen I'm breathing, and I have to do these big, like, I have to, like, force my lungs to expand and contract. It's really weird. I wonder if it's the same thing that you're having right now. I don't know what caused it. I'm afraid I might have asthma, because my dad has
I'm
asthma,
also afraid
I
I
think.
might have asthma, because I don't want to be a nerd.
Yeah. I don't want to carry one of those little things, go... and be, you know, the guy who gets beat up on
I already have
on
glasses.
Stand By
I'm
Me.
halfway there. I don't want to do that.
You need some headgear too. Hey, did you guys know that I wore headgear all of like elementary school for one full year?
Just the other day, I was thinking about the fact that I completely forgot that you wore headgear for a while. It's like the
Was
fun.
that 'cause
I
you were
opted
retarded
in.
and you kept hitting yourself?
It's
No,
hilarious.
that's not. No, okay. So this was purely a teeth straightening thing, and I was offered a choice to either wear headgear at night for like 2 years, or just wear it all the time for 1 year, and I'd be done sooner. And I didn't even register any negative consequences of wearing it.
Of
you know,
course,
for a
I'll
whole
wear
fucking
a weird
year in
apparatus
school.
on my head at all times.
I can't believe I did it, but I fucking wore that thing an
Yeah.
entire year straight.
It's obviously worked, because you don't have crooked fucking teeth like Digi. Hey.
That's true. Did you should
Shout
get
out
some
to
headgear?
Digi's teeth.
Man, I had some weird orthodontia. I had braces.
Did you get the palate expander?
Yeah,
Did you
I
have the
had
palate
braces
expander?
for a while, but before that, I had the palate expander, which is a thing that
Orthodontia sounds like the realm where dentists come from.
I'm sure it is.
It goes on your teeth, and it attaches to your top teeth, and there's like it's like a flat thing in the middle, but there's a gap in it, and there's a little twisty thing, and you have a little key, and you jam this little key up into your roof of your mouth in this apparatus, and you twist it like a couple times, and it gradually expands your fucking jaw, and you do that for a while. I had that, and I also had another thing where like it was these like metal things were like bonded to my teeth, and on the top row were these rods, these metal rods, and on the bottom row were these metal tubes, and the rods slotted into the tubes,
fuck?
and it was intended so that my jaw would open and close in like a straight line instead of like a curvy line. And
Man.
the thing about that is, as I got older, I eventually became able to open my mouth so wide that I could remove the rods from the tubes, and then I could have and then I would have these four weird little like these weird little like straight metal dealy things like that I could pop out of my mouth and like wiggle around like a bee,
Like a metal
mouth,
vampire man.
like a pincer,
Yeah,
like a
okay.
bug mouth pincer. But then I would open them up again and I would jam them back in because I wanted to keep my orthodontia working properly. But I would take them out for fun. Anyway, that was
Man,
weird.
on
and
the
miserable.
topic of times I almost died, the orthodontist is a very relevant one.
Wait a minute.
Man, it's fucked up, the stuff we do to our fucking jaw and skull. I mean, it makes sense. Like,
Well,
you
it's
get
'cause
good
our
results and all.
It's because our bodies suck.
Nah, you're
because
totally
bodies
right.
don't
You're totally
work
right.
right
It's
on
just
their
crazy.
own.
It's weird, because I've never heard of, stuff like that being done in England. Like, the most you would get is braces.
Well, the whole teeth thing in England's a big meme, right?
Sometimes
I mean, it's a
Mother
big
Nature
meme, but I
just
think
needs
it's-
a little help.
I think
Yeah.
the difference is that Americans don't like having fucked up teeth, even if it's healthy. They just want it to
We're
be
just
a certain
insanly
shape.
superficial over here.
It's definitely
Yeah.
a superficiality
I
thing.
know
Like, in
I'm-
America,
I
you're
know I'm
expected to have nice
superficial.
teeth.
I know I'm
Yeah,
superficial
yeah.
as fuck.
Like, I'm just lucky that my teeth and jaw are just sort of normal, so there's no problems there, really.
Yeah, you could be a
is
digi.
fortunate.
Oh boy.
It
Oh
is
boy.
fortunate.
I actually was supposed
Yeah.
to get braces and shit for my teeth, and I didn't because we couldn't afford it. My dentist or whoever I remember as a kid was like, if you don't do this when you're old, because I have like a really bad overbite. Your overbite's gonna get so bad, your bottom teeth are gonna start digging into the gums of your top teeth, and all your top teeth are just
What
gonna
the
fall
fuck?
out.
Did that
Holy
happen?
shit. That's an
Yeah.
exaggeration.
So I've
did?
never.
Wait, it did?
Well, it has. I haven't.
Ben asked if that really happened.
It hasn't happened yet, but I don't know how
Okay.
how far into the future he was
Time's
talking about.
ticking.
So I'll definitely
Remember
keep
that-
you all updated on that because I never had wisdom teeth removed. I never had
Please
braces.
do.
Never had any of that shit. So
Ugh.
I'm out.
You can still get it done when you're older, I think. So it's not like the end of the world or anything.
Yeah.
But
They have like the
Yeah,
like
man,
Invisalign
crazy.
things now. If you want to get braces, but nobody knows,
I
it's
do.
just like
I do have in Boy Scouts when I was like in high school or middle school. I did have a bike accident that broke my two front teeth.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And so now like half of one of my front teeth and a little part of the other is like, it's like fake tooth, and like it's fine. It looks fine, except I guess it's just I've had it long enough that like the edges, just kind of like the edge of the fake part is kind of starting to get a little dingy looking, and it really pisses me off. It really pisses me off every time I look at it.
The whole thing about like our vanity in regards to our teeth and making them like white enough. Like I've been drinking more coffee recently, and I have been getting extremely concerned if my teeth will turn darker, get stained, because I have always been very proud of my teeth, and I've gotten a lot of compliments on my smile and my teeth over the years. And it's entirely a vanity thing, but I would be very upset if my teeth were to diminish in quality.
I don't know, man.
Wonder.
I don't know. I worry.
It's all
about
kind
that
of pointless.
Too. I don't drink a lot of coffee,
like
but I do drink a lot of just like Mio.
Yeah.
I drink a lot of Mio energy.
You'll have rainbow-colored teeth.
Oh, beautiful.
I guess that's why my teeth aren't fucked up, because I don't drink soda ever.
But you drink tea.
Tea?
Tea's not.
Well,
tea's got to be
not-
better than soda. Tea's not that dark.
Tea's not that bad for you at all.
I mean, like, in terms of, like, teeth rotting, because, like, I mean, they might
Oh,
get stained
yeah, that's-
brown
sure.
with tea stain, I don't know. But, like,
That's all I meant.
soda will
Yeah.
make them disintegrate.
Soda's bad.
Yeah,
Soda's the
that's
devil.
what they say.
Soda's bad in every way, and no one should drink it. I bought a water today, and I got a soda instead.
Well, the
dumped it in the
president of
trash.
Nintendo, RIP?
Dumped it in the trash because it is trash. Wait, what? What about Nintendo?
You said you got a water. The president of Nintendo, RIP.
He did, nigga. He did.
He is.
Way to dig up his
I
grave,
did
you
it.
monster.
I confess.
Okay.
I did it.
This has nothing to do with death,
The
dying
death of
times
our
and
dignity
whatnot.
is
So,
not the death we
yeah.
were referring
well,
to.
I was
This is
gonna,
a toothcast.
to
Nate,
lead into... well,
Have we
What-
have we actually said what the topic is? Like, I feel like
We
Nate,
did.
you said
I
the
read-
topic
I read the
before, but we
thing.
never actually introduced what the topic is.
I read
No, we
I read
did.
the
Oh, right,
question,
you
but the
mentioned it in the
topic
tweet.
is
In the tweet.
read the
That's
tweet.
right. Okay.
yeah,
Because this whole
times when you
thing
almost
started
died or
with,
whatever.
With Hippo talking about how he's dying right now, and then we just
Yes.
tangented into dental incidents for like the last
I do
20
have
fine.
another time that I actually almost
Please.
Ugh.
died. Which
Okay,
is,
cool.
I mean, maybe I'm like, I was panicking at the time and I'm like overreacting about what happened. But there was a time when I was just out on like on a trek, on a hike, just around the countryside with family. And I had a cold at the time, and it was kind of cold outside, but, whatever, But there was this moment where I had so much mucus in my throat that I could not sneeze it out, I could not cough it up, and it
Ugh.
completely blocked my air passages, and I fell
my
over.
God.
And I just was like, I couldn't, I was
from
trying as hard as
suffocation?
I could to gasp for air, and it wouldn't happen.
Oh my
And
god.
I nearly fainted, and it was the scariest moment
That
ever.
reminds me. One of the worst things I've ever read is this. There's a scene in Infinite Jest where,
Oh boy.
yeah, a burglar. Okay, a guy, he like this rich like diplomat. He was going to take a family vacation that day, and but he was sick. Right, he had a cold, so his family left and he stayed home because he was sick. And a burglar or two burglars knew that his family was taking a vacation and they were going to break in that day. But they break in and find that he's still there, sick. So they're like, "Oh shit, what do we do?" So they tie him up and they gag him.
Oh no.
And the thing is, he's got a stuffy nose, and like,
Ah!
Yeah.
Ah!
Yeah.
This has been my nightmare my entire fucking life.
it ta-
Literally this.
it takes him like an entire day to die.
Oh God, no, 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 no! You don't know how long I've had this exact thought. Like,
Yeah.
what if guys? I've got a stuffy nose. They're like, well, just shut up, Nate. Nobody cares. What if I get kidnapped right now? What if I've had the fear of someone literally putting duct tape on my mouth has been my exact fear my entire life. Ah!
He spends
No.
Why
No!
kidnapping specifically? Because
He
I
spends
understand.
he
I
spends like
understand having,
he spends like the entire day like fucking snorting and blowing
Yeah.
his nose and
Yeah,
trying
like
to keep
trying
the
to
nasal
breathe,
passages
trying
clear,
to breathe.
and he like sort of manages it for a while, but like he can't. Yeah, it's really bad.
Jesus, you fucked up, dude. You should
Jesus.
not have fucked with our lungs that way. Why'd you make me this way, Jesus? I hate you. Fuck you, dude.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's pretty
a,
fucking bad.
It's a similar like sort of fear of just being in a place where you can't call for help.
Yeah.
Like it's something like the fear of like falling asleep in the bath and just drowning because nobody knows.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Or you fall over in the shower.
It's like a mundane sort of way to die that could happen at any moment if you're just not able to move.
Yeah, I'm with you, but for me, it's like even worse if you're just like in a crowd, but like I don't know, for whatever reason, if you like choke on your own snot or maybe even like a piece of food, like if nobody knows and they're around, or even if they do know, but like it's you like fighting against your own body and your own biology, and like just no one can like fix you immediately. Like they have to rush you to the hospital so if they can like so they can try to reach down and pull it out or whatever.
Yeah.
But just like that fear of like me being powerless against my own body, I find particularly terrifying, especially for like the suffocation thing.
For sure.
Oh God, no!
Oh, it's the worst. This is gonna be an awkward podcast.
I'm thinking about suffocating now, and I've really got the howling.
I've got the goose pimples.
The howling phantons.
Everybody take a deep breath.
As David Foster Wallace would say.
This entire topic is why I'm such a huge advocate of transhumanism. We need to fucking get robot bodies, fix all this shit. This is the worst.
Mm-hmm.
It sure,
the best thing about being a robot
sure would be neat. Sure would be neat.
Is the coolest thing about robots and robotics is that I mean, if you're a cyborg, you can probably like turn yourself off and then turn yourself on again. So if you repairs will be easier.
I can already turn myself on. Thank you very much.
Oh, sure, you can make yourself unconscious for sure. Whoa, yeah, it just takes this rock to my head and I'm out. It's great.
But like also like little robot like I always like the idea of that we're like advancing in like micro technology with robots and stuff and tiny little things, because like in the future you won't have to have surgery or anything if there's something inside you that's going wrong. You can just send a little robot guy in there to dig it out with a spade, you know?
To dig it out with a spade.
Use little lasers or little drills, like just send them in there.
I want there to be artificial organs, artificial just like body parts that could easily be swapped out that don't cost like dick. It's just like, oh, you're having a heart attack? Well, we'll just put a new heart in there. I guess that one's fucked up, you know, and just easily fix all that shit. And then I want like fucking nanomachines to fucking like augment your organs and stuff that can like repair damaged cells, and you can just live forever. And aging is a
living
disease.
Forever is just a different sort of thing.
I mean, I'm a little more concerned about the technology for micro machines that, you know, enable dick extension and retraction on command that just build cells, you know. Like, I assume that's what everyone was thinking about.
The ultimate technology.
No, in the future,
the apotheosis of human achievement.
In the future, you're not going to need to worry about your dick size because you're going to have your robot wife who's perfect in every way. And she doesn't care how big your dick is. It's always the perfect fit because she's designed that way.
And plus, once we get the full Ghost in the Shell thing, you can just swap into a body with as big a dick you want, or whatever you know.
Listen, asshole. I don't want a big dick for her sake. I want a big dick for my sake. I want a big dick because I enjoy it.
Because you deserve it, Ben. Because you deserve it.
You think this is for them? You think I do this for them? You think I jelk every day? You think I've because to satisfy a woman?
You think these Kegels are for her, dog?
This satisfies me. This is what I need to feel like a man. And goddamn it, I do.
Ben said, gesturing to his physique, just brushing his body.
Yeah, you think all this is for them? This is for me.
All this,
clearly.
Look at these curves, dog.
Holy shit.
Hippo, did you have any other death-defying incidents that you wanted to bring up, or shall we move on to somebody else?
I can't think of any. There's been. Yeah.
If you think of any, you can always bring them up.
Yeah, I'll just. Well, I was gonna mention, Jess, you've been like having a bit of medical stuff. Also, you're homeless and everything sucks.
Oh yeah, I have AIDS.
Now,
That's a fact. I thought everyone knew. I thought everyone. You saw what happened with me and Action Giraffe at RadCon 2. You saw the AIDS get transmitted through the docking into my brain.
That's what Action Giraffe does.
Made of AIDS. I'm not a human being anymore.
As Action Giraffe was fucking your ear hole, there was a sudden time stop. There was like a freeze frame, and then the AIDS crawled out and went inside like a yerk from Animorphs.
Yes,
I'm not
exactly.
really like a human anymore. I'm like in Resident Evil 0, how the zombies are made out of leeches. I'm like a bunch of AIDS leeches, like morphing and flopping around in the form of an AIDSy human.
Oh God.
A particularly
Wow.
AIDSy human, more so than any other of my ilk.
I have a time. I wasn't actually nearly dying, but I thought I was, and it was bullshit. This was
Okay.
like, I don't know. I think I had allergies or something. This was in my teen years, Nate. So and I remember on this
probably
particular
remember.
Sunday we were going to church, and I don't think you were there. I don't know why. Whatever.
Because I'm a goddamn pizza-faced atheist.
I don't know. You were somewhere. It doesn't matter. You're not relevant to the story. The story is, yeah, I know. Fuck you. The story is that I had allergies or something, and I took a Benadryl, right? Like my mom or dad gave me a Benadryl, and I was like, I still feel kind of bad, so I took like another one. Like I took 2 Benadryls, and I felt weird. Like I started to feel tingly, and I was like, oh, Dad, I took 2 Benadryls, and now I
Just kill me, Dad, please.
I was
it.
like, Dad, I took 2 Benadryls because the first one didn't really work, and now I feel weird. And Dad was like, oh God, Ben, you took 2 Benadryls, you could die. You could die, Ben.
Oh my God!
Yeah, like if you
God.
he said like if you do that, you could die. And I was like, oh God, should we go to
would
the
you say
hospital,
that?
Dad? And he was like, nah.
What the fuck, Dad? You handled this situation, escalating it as hard as you possibly could,
Yeah.
and then just be like, don't worry about it.
Yeah. He told me that what I had done could kill me, and then when I was like, "Should we do something?" he was like, "No, it's fine."
Okay,
And then we
fucked
went
up,
to
Dad. You
church,
fucked
and I
up.
sat there in the fucking pew, feeling weird, feeling kind of tingly, and thinking I was gonna die.
Just feeling closer to God than you ever have before. Yeah.
Put that fear of God in me.
He would
for
never
sure.
strike me down in his own house, would he?
Oh my God. Dad is like the worst. He assumes the worst
Dad
in every
is,
situation.
You know, Dad. He's very
But, like,
he's very
at
melodramatic.
least,
He's very
if you really
melodramatic
thought
in
that,
ways.
Yeah, that's the thing. If he really thought that was the case,
Yeah.
he would have taken you to the hospital.
Yeah,
So clearly, I don't know.
He clearly didn't actually think I was in danger, but like he still said
would you
it.
say that?
He said it and then did not.
The seed was
did
planted
not
at
walk
that point.
He did not walk the statement back at any point.
What a legend, Dad.
What a dick.
I can imagine he just wanted you to freak out so he could laugh.
Maybe he did. Maybe he just
Maybe-
wanted.
eh.
Maybe he just wanted to scare me into not doubling up on doses. But I don't feel like there was any premeditated strategy going on here.
Who can predict the inner workings of a dad?
It's
It's
impossible.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Well,
that was
since we're on
pretty
you
great.
got
It
any
was a
others?
great day.
Yeah. I was at home jerking off. Yeah.
Probably.
Fuck yeah.
Fucking gay.
What else you got for us, Ben? Any other times?
Oh, again? Well, yeah, I actually do have a second one. I was
Okay.
gonna save it, but yeah,
We could go around if you want. We can do a round robin or whatever.
All right. Well, I'll tell you the whole story because there's a bit more to
Okay.
it than just the death. So in college, right? Like me and my girlfriend had some friends that had been going to the same school, but then they transferred to another school. This was another couple. They one of them transferred to another school. They went together, and we were gonna go visit them. So we like rented a car, and we drove to New York, and it was like a 4 or 5 hour drive or something. And like I remember on the way there, like I accidentally ran a red light, and the girlfriend was like,
Oh boy.
how she was really mad, like she was really angry that I had like fucked up and kind of like done this weird thing in this red light, and like it was dangerous, and I fucked up, and it was bad, but she was very upset at my driving. So then on the way back, she drove, and she was in the right lane, and there was an 18-wheeler in the middle lane, right, like next to us, and she got spooked.
Sure.
She got spooked, being like sandwiched between this 18-wheeler and the edge of the road. So
This is why women shouldn't be able to drive.
Can't
handle it. Can't handle it.
This is just my
I'm
fucking
not
data.
saying
This is just
anything,
data.
but-
This is just one data point. And she hit the gas, tried to pull out ahead of the 18-wheeler, and then change lanes to get in front of it. she changed lanes too early and fucking just rammed into the thing. Yeah.
Oh no.
And this fucking 18-wheeler like crunched into the fucking car. All of the windows exploded.
Oh my god.
Yeah, there was
holy shit.
The windows exploded. She was like screaming. She was like, Ben. And I was like, oh god.
And Ben was like, oh, this is why I told you shouldn't let a man drive. Gotta let a man drive.
I think I held her hand or something because we were like, because it was long. This was an extended sequence of the windows exploded and then the car was dragged. Like, the car was. We're attached to the front of this truck now, and the truck had to come to a stop, and we were like sideways. We were dragged the whole way as this truck fucking came to a slow stop, and then it slowed down, and we were like, oh god, we're still alive. And like the windows were everywhere. There was glass in my pockets that I found the next day because it had gotten into my fucking pockets, and
indicating that Ben, in fact, did not change his clothes at that point or any other time.
I was wearing a jacket.
All right.
And whatever. and we called fucking AT. What's the word?
AAA.
Yeah, we called AAA, and fucking they came and it was terrible. And I remember that I had a thermodynamics test the next day that I really needed to study for, but because this shitty thing happened, I did not get home in time to fucking get my textbooks and study the shit I needed to study.
Did you get an extension on the exam or anything?
No, I just didn't feel like it. I was just like, fuck it, whatever, I'll take the test anyway, and I didn't do great, but who cares?
Fair enough.
Everyone was like,
ooh, boy.
The teachers the next day were like, Ben, I heard you were in a bad car accident. And I was like, yeah, I was. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm just saying, women might not be the best drivers around. That's all I'm saying. Ben was an advocate from that point on.
In this case, she didn't really hit it out of the park.
Well, Ben, I was curious though what your conversation was like immediately after this accident. What I
mean, I don't know. I think we were both just like really happy to be alive.
That's fair. That's fair.
and also like, just bummed that it had happened and that we now had to deal with the fault. I mean, it was it was mostly her because it was like her. No, it was her car. It was her car that she had done this to. So it was like mostly her. She had to deal with the fallout of fucking messing up her car. So that was sad.
Man.
Yep.
That's a crazy story.
It was real fucking scary. Almost died. We both did.
Man. All right. Yep. Well, cool.
Yep. Good story, Ben.
Got any more? Got any others?
I think, did I just top? Was that the topper?
That's the. It might be. It might have been so far. I don't think I have anything.
Another successful PCP podcast. We did it.
Yep.
No, we're not.
28 minutes.
No, we've reached the top, and now we have to plunge back into the ground to go below the bottom point.
I think we can talk about, unless anyone has another like actual almost died story.
I'm constantly
the metaphorical, like when you died inside.
Well, wait a minute.
That's every day of my fucking life, dude.
We can get to that.
That's not even worth mentioning at this point. It's just a given for every day. I died once. I was run over by a car once.
Yeah.
Like
now, hang on. When people say they got run over, a lot of the time I find that the actual event is that a car hit them and they rolled over the top.
Oh no, that's not what I mean. I mean I was literally under the tires being ran over by a fucking Jeep.
God.
What the fuck?
Is this why you love Jeep Wranglers so much? Do you have Stockholm Syndrome for Jeeps? Is that what's going on? Is that it, Jesse? It's okay. You can admit this problem. Okay, so what happened?
My stupid idiot friend back in high school named Ryan Gentry, who I'll say his fucking name. I don't care because we all hated him anyways. We kicked him out of the group shortly after this. But we were driving. We were in the driveway. We were about to pull out, and I like wasn't in the car yet, and I was like getting my seatbelt on. And he, like, fucking zoomed out, and I'm like, slow down, I'm not in the car, I'm out the door. And I was, like, hanging out the door, and I, like, got wrapped up in my seatbelt, and I couldn't, I couldn't move myself. So, like, I just, like, plummeted out of the car, and, like, he kept going, and, like, he didn't have to keep going. He wasn't going that fast. He could have stopped. He knew I was down there, but he just kept going. And he ran right over, like, right up and over my ankle. And
holy shit.
I was like tied up in a seatbelt, and he ran over my leg, and I'm like, well, you're not my friend anymore.
What happened to your leg?
It just hurt a bit. I mean, I
Did you break anything?
no, I didn't have to go to the hospital or anything, but
Let's
Whoa.
go. Still though,
it was.
it's a good thing it was a Jeep Wrangler and not a fucking I don't know minivan.
It wasn't a Jeep Wrangler. You invented that part of the story.
I know. I like that better. That's the story now. That's the story now.
A Jeep Wrangler showed me mercy, and now I am indebted.
Yeah,
That's right.
Jesse told me this story about how Colt Corona ran over him with a Jeep Wrangler. And, Colt Corona tried to save him. It was actually the kayfabe commander driving the dreaded mobile on a mission to hurt me.
I like to think that like it's your friend like has his face, and as he was driving this thing, like he pulls off the face mask, and underneath is like that sheer metal plate of the
he's
kayfabe
wearing
commander
the mask
under the
his
face mask.
human face.
Yeah.
Give a man a mask, and he'll show you his true face. Oscar Wilde.
Oh, that's
Kayfabe
a good one. That's a
commander.
good one. AKA the kayfabe commander.
As he left me there in the ditch with my broken, shattered ankle and zoomed off into the night, I could hear him laughing, "Mustard on my burger!"
That phrase has haunted your nightmares ever since. Fantastic. Okay. Well, I've got one that isn't as dramatic as that, but it was a very trippy experience.
Did you trip?
I was kind of tripping. So there's not
No,
much
I mean,
to
like,
it.
fall over, trip, like fall off a cliff.
No, I did not trip or fall off a cliff in this case. No, actually, well, I mean, a quick one was I went skydiving once, and there was nothing crazy about it. I didn't think I was going to die, intellectually, but the experience was very much of dying inside and being reborn as the hero of mankind that I knew I would become one day. So I'd highly recommend everyone go skydiving. It was super fun. But this other time was. So I just had a fever. Nothing crazy was going on. I just had a fever one time when I was in like 4th grade. But what was interesting were the side effects of this fever. Now, later on, I would find out that I had a temperature at the time, and I went to the hospital at some point. My brain temperature was around, or my body temperature was 165, 168.5, I want to say. No, yeah, something like that.
Are
and
you sure it's
yeah,
not
it was
106?
It was really hot.
Not 106.
Oh, sorry. I think that was it. I think that was it.
165.
Oh, well, I don't remember the exact number there, but,
I remember
but the point
it
is
being,
like
I remember it being 106.
I thought it was like 126 or okay, whatever's the reasonable number there, whatever's the reasonable one, that's what it was, but it was like 6.5 at the end.
Standard human is like 98.
Yes, okay. All right. I think you're right here. And the thing is, brain death begins to occur at 106.8. So I was 0.3 away from starting to die. So it was pretty close, but nothing bad happened to me that I know of.
I remember.
After this point, I start to like anime, so kind of a weird, I don't know what was going on there,
Nate,
but
I remember
yeah.
that day. Because because of our dad, basically told me you were gonna die, or that you.
Oh my god, what the fuck, dude?
And I was terrified all day at school.
Aww,
it was
understandably.
Like, yeah, because like Dad basically said like Nate might die, and I was like, oh god.
What the fuck? Dad, this is not optimal for my studies. You just don't tell me until he's actually
really
dead.
wasn't optimal for my fucking studies. Didn't do me any goddamn favors, but yeah.
So what I remember about that day was that at this time, I think I was in like I don't know, like 1st grade. I was like real young or something, and I was really into the Power Rangers, and the Power Rangers like 2nd movie had come out, and it's the one with like Lord Ooze. And
Ivan
they got all
Ooze.
the Ivan Ooze. And,
Yeah.
Okay, all right,
Dude,
my mistake.
The CG in that movie is fucking amazing.
Really?
Yeah,
I have to go watch it again.
And I mean in like the worst way possible.
Yeah.
The
Okay,
CG,
okay.
the CG of like the new Zords coming together to form the new Megazord is the most embarrassing thing. Like it is so bad. It's
That's
incredible.
fantastic.
Great, fuck you.
Yeah, I want to watch. I'll have to watch it again because it really left an impression on me due to this story. So, the point is that like this guy Ivan Ooze was like he became like the main character of my brain during this day that I was having this bizarre fever dream. So like. Oh, it was weird. Like, I obtained ooze powers and got my own, I got my own Megazord, but the way these worked was you had to turn into ooze and kind of merge into your Megazord, sort of like a Yeerk merging with the brain of the person they're possessing in Animorphs, which I was also into at the time.
Nate, what the fuck are you talking about?
I'm talking about my experience of what was happening during this day where I was almost brain dead.
So this was like a fever dream you were having?
This was a fever dream, yeah.
I see, okay.
I mean, what was interesting about it was how, like, everyone in this fever dream was like an ooze man like me, and I formed a whole ooze civilization of people, and we all had Megazords, and Ivan Ooze was our king, I believe.
Nice.
It was nuts. Like, I experienced being an ooze man for a while for that day, and I'd highly recommend it to anyone who has the opportunity to give it a try.
Wait,
Being a newsman?
Is this
Yeah.
fever dream? I don't know whether I've had like an actual fever dream before. Is it different from a dream in that you remember it better, or?
Well, what was different was that I was,
that comes about
and I was like,
got a high fever.
yeah, and it was kind of like I was conscious at the time, so I was like, I was conscious of what was going on around me, but it was just really like distorted, and I wasn't like processing information properly. It was really weird. It was really weird.
Oh, God.
I don't know. That's basically it though. Like Ivan Ooze, I will never forget. And I wish I could like paint the picture, because I have some very specific imagery that occurred to me on that day that I have never forgotten since, and I don't think I ever will forget. Like, there's this one of Ivan Ooze's face, like stretching off the rest of his body just like towards me and kind of curling around into this like bizarre, disgusting face. It stuck with me for like 20 years now, so I don't think it's going anywhere. It's gonna be with me till my dying day.
Well, whatever. Yeah.
I'm just saying it was a crazy, trippy time. That's all I'm saying. Really, the story isn't that interesting. I had a crazy dream. That's what happened.
You know,
and,
I'll tell you
that's
one
it.
time. Speaking of, I mean, I assume you were speaking of something. I don't remember. But I'll tell you sometime.
No.
One time, I died a time. I'll tell you guys about the time I had appendicitis when I was in high school. And
okay.
Nobody believed that I had appendicitis.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody would take me to the hospital.
Oh, Jesse, with your crazy schemes,
Yeah, with your wild
always appendicitis. Oh, come on now! Don't pull my leg
to make it to the top, but he's kind of in the middle because he's always getting caught.
Always getting caught. God damn it, Jesse.
That's me. So I was laying there, I was like saying to like my mom and my grandma, like everyone who was there. My stomach really hurts. I think I'm really sick. I think I need to go to the hospital. My mom, at a certain point, just like left the state and like went to North Carolina during this week and said, you'll be fine. Blah, blah. So like no one was there to take me anywhere. Everyone who came in the house said that I was just a big fat faker trying to skip school or whatever. So I'm laying there. My cousin comes in one day. My cousin, who's this a woman of sizable size.
Right, a big fat slut.
She's a big fat slut. Yeah. Yeah. She's like a 250, like a 300-pound lady. She comes in, and she goes. I'm laying on the couch. She goes, "Oh, you're not sick," and she fucking sits on me. She sits on my my abdomen where my appendix lives, just like squishing it, killing me.
Oh God.
So finally, on like the fourth day. My Uncle Tony came, and he was the only one who believed me, because he's the only one who ever believes me. So he took me to the hospital, and the doctor just said, yeah, you're like a day away from dying. Your appendix is going to burst. We have to put you in surgery right now. And so they put me in surgery, and then I woke up, and they took it out of me, and that night I went to like a party, and I just like showed up at the party, like all my friends were there. I'm like, hey guys, guess who just had a surgery? And I like looked at my shirt and I had a little scar, and they were like, yeah, you're cool, we're all gonna suck your dick. All the girls said that, and they did.
Awesome.
And that's how I got well laid for 100 years. I had sex with every woman I ever met, and that's the moral of the story.
What a great story.
I love a story with a happy ending.
Yep.
Me
And
too.
Colt Corona was there too, and he even got laid.
Yeah, imagine that.
So
You guys
that,
gave each other high fives.
Yeah, the
while you did
kayfabe
it,
commander.
Eiffel Tower.
The kayfabe commander thought he could poison my appendix to put me down for the count, but his plan backfired, and it got me and Horseboy laid 1,000 times.
All
like
these stories, just kayfabe commander and Cold Corona are just now.
I was at the party. I was at the party having my big fun orgy with all my friends, and kayfabe commander was like watching over it from. He was overlooking it from like a cliffside, going, "Curse you!
Right.
You've eluded my vengeance again." And I was, fuck you! I was yelling back at him, fuck you!
Who's that guy in the WWE who's like he's not the GOAT guy, but he like thinks that he can take over the world by like winning the WWE championship. Which guy is that?
Oh, Bray Wyatt?
The crazy guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking like instead of it's like that. The Kayfabe Commander is like him, only it's reversed, where he thinks by like pulling these evil schemes to like defeat you, that will get him the championship
he'll become
belt.
a wrestling champion.
Yeah, that's his plan. He defeats you, he becomes champion. Right. That's his master plan.
He's completely detached from reality. He doesn't understand anything. He's an idiot.
He's a madman.
He doesn't even
too
know
powerful.
the rules of wrestling.
He's an idiot, but it only increases his evil retard strength.
That's right.
The dumber he gets, the stronger he gets. Unlike Colt Corona, who gets weaker the more the more love fills Colt Corona's heart, the weaker he gets. So he's constantly getting weaker.
Aw, well, isn't that nice? He lives a charmed, weak life. So, Tom, you're a man on death's door every day. So, what's your story,
I am,
buddy?
he says, matter of factly.
I was gonna say I'm dying inside right now because I'm at work,
Mhm.
and it's
Right,
8 degrees,
fair.
and I have
Right.
to walk around this abandoned building. So I can't
Oh my
even
God,
tell
that
you any of
sucks.
my fucking 3 stories of near death I had planned for another 20 minutes because I have to finish this round I'm doing in this abandoned building. And
Okay,
if I
we'll
talk
come
in
back.
here,
We'll be
it'll
here.
fuck up the audio. So
Fair point. Okay, we'll come back.
We should have had him tell some stories when he was actually available.
well,
We really
no.
fucked up.
Procrastinators fan base hadn't failed us so miserably on a topic. We'd have been a
That's
half an
true.
hour earlier right now, and it would have been fine.
That is true.
That's true. They really,
Ask better
they really
questions.
screwed
Just
the
one on the audience.
you audience. You really screwed the pooch on this one.
At TP Crastinators, send us good questions that we can answer. Okay, so why don't, Gib, you were going to say something. Let's talk about dying inside in the meantime, right?
Oh yeah,
Right?
dying inside. Well,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously depression and all that sad stuff that happens
Mm-hmm.
all over the time, all over the place, every day. But
Beautiful.
I can think of a very specific moment where I was at my lowest point ever, and
Oh,
it was
okay.
before I was a YouTuber.
Oh, okay.
I had left school because it was ended, and then I was like, okay, what do I do? I want to
Mm-hmm.
maybe go to university, but I don't know what I want to do at university. I don't know what I want to do in my life. And so I took a year off before I, made a decision. Everyone
Mm-hmm.
else in my class had made their decision and was, going away and getting the funny hats and getting kids and all that shit. And I was like, okay, I'm not sure about doing animation. It seems scary. So I was, all sad and stuff. And my parents were like, well, if you're not going to go to university, you should get a job or go on the dole, which is, the benefits thing.
Yeah, sure.
For working, for looking for a job. And so I went to the thing, and it was really depressing because they really, it's like a corporate building with people who hate their job sitting in a stuffy sort of building, and I have to go in and stamp the thing and files and paperwork and all that. And
Yep.
they had recently changed the law when I got this, so usually you would go in, you would say, I'm looking for work, and then you would write down a bunch of things proving that links to websites that you were looking for work. Obviously, nobody had any proof, they just said they did, and that's how they got money.
Oh man!
But they changed the law.
Kinda. I did
Yeah.
that on a fucking unemployment benefits. At one point, I got laid off from a job, and I had to pretend I was looking for real work while I got unemployment insurance from that. It was great.
Yeah. Yeah, it would have been great for me too, except for this law change where it said, while you're looking for work, in addition to proving that you're looking for work, you have to do a certain amount of hours of volunteer work at charity shops.
Jesus.
no.
And, so I would have to get up real early and drive, get on the bus to this quite far away place across the river. I don't know where it was.
Yeah.
In the part of town that I didn't understand or know. And I think it was because I made a mistake on the paperwork. They just sent me far away, so I had to get up at like 6 every morning. Well, not every morning, like 3 or 4 times a week, probably 3 times a week, to this charity shop. And the people in there were really, no nonsense. Nobody liked me. Nobody would give me any sort of, let me get away with anything. You said no, you have to work for this amount of time. The first day I got there, it was closed because the owner of the shop didn't turn up because she was sick, and I didn't get any hours, you know, for that day because she wasn't there. So I had to go for an extra day and work overtime. And I was doing this for like 2 weeks before I decided that I would rather just walk the streets and die. And it was this one time where I was on the bus, you know, having my music in my headphones, just sort of like, and this lady at the front of the bus, she, for some reason, at some point, and I didn't notice because I didn't hear because I had my headphones in, she said, all right, everyone off, this is going not in service bus at the moment, and I was right at the back, and everyone else got off, and they looked at me, and I looked at them, you know, and they thought, why aren't you getting off? But they didn't say anything, so I was just like, I guess everyone wants to get off at this stop. And then it kept going, and for a bit, and I realized, wait, she's not stopping at any of these bus stops. She doesn't know that I'm here. What do I do? And then at one point she glanced behind. She saw that I was at the back of the bus, and she said, what the fuck you doing there? She was like one of those, you know, real chavvy, like real sweary, angry bitches.
Wait,
she
the
said,
bus
get
driver?
the fuck off the bus. Yeah, the bus driver, yeah. She said, get the fuck off the bus, you cunt. You just... I told you to get off. I told you to get off. I didn't hear.
Why is she so mean?
Because she works in a bus.
Yeah. That's fair.
That is the
That's
best
fair.
possible answer.
Wait, why were you still on the bus past your stop?
Because
He didn't hear, Doug. He didn't hear the announcement.
I didn't hear that
headphones
the bus
on.
had gone out of service, and she was driving to the bus station to put it away. And if
so
I
did she
hadn't,
just drop you off like in the middle of nowhere?
yeah, she dropped me off in the middle of nowhere. I didn't know where I was.
Oh,
I didn't know how many stops I had to go, and I was like, you know what? Fuck this. And I just started walking in the direction I assumed was home. I went into a library, thought I could just stay here all day, and then, you know, the police would get me, something.
They'd file a missing persons report?
Yeah. But,
Shit.
I decided I was going to go on an adventure. This is the coolest thing that happened in the worst time possible. I was
Okay.
so depressed of life. I thought, let's just
So hang
walk
on.
and
So
see if I
this
can find my
up
way
to this
home.
point. Up to this point, was this the time lowest of your life when you wanted to die, when you were dumped off this bus?
Yeah, it was like, well, it wasn't really like.
I thought that's
the
what you were
lowest
building
point.
to. Maybe I was wrong.
It was the lowest point in my life, but it was the moment that I snapped and said, you know what? Fuck going to this stupid thing.
Okay.
I am just going to walk aimlessly until I can see a bus stop that I recognize, or a bus, you know, a bus number that I recognize, and I can get on that, and I can eventually find my way home. And it took like 6 hours, and I finally got home, and I was like, okay, time to play video games, I guess, you know. And then soon after that, I, you know, applied for university, college, whatever stuff, and I got on and all that, and it was just a really cool moment where I decided to go on an adventure, and I enjoyed it because of everything being terrible.
I think we
pretty
could
good.
all do with a little more adventurous moments like that in our lives.
I condone such things.
Yeah.
And then I made a YouTube channel.
Oh,
Everything is up on up.
that was a mistake. All right, cool.
Well,
So it sounds like that actually got a little bit better at the end. So at least something
Yeah.
positive came of it. So that's
I wanted to end on a higher note because I don't want this. You know, this is like a really dour topic. Like, oh, did you almost die? You're dead, and there's sadness, and nobody believed that I was gonna kill myself. It's not a nice topic.
You know, it's a really depressing thing. I know this has been spoken at various times, but like, you know, when you're really upset, Digi's talked about this a couple times, but like no one around knows, and you're just sitting there, like,
Yes.
just want the world to burn, and everyone else is acting like there's nothing wrong. Ooh, that's my least favorite position to be, because you
stuff
can't
like
even say
that.
anything. You know, you don't want to ruin everyone else's life with your
That's true.
shit.
It's also when you don't realize that you're not looking sad enough because
Yeah,
you assume
yeah.
you do, and nobody
the
pays
issue.
attention. You just sort of you have that moment in your childhood where you realize, or you know, childhood or teenage life where you're depressed and you realize that nobody's looking out for you at the moment or at any point. You just have to make sure you tell people things. It's sort of like a transition, sort of like, you know, you're a kid, your parents are always looking out for you, asking you if you're okay. And if nobody asks you if you're okay, you can't say, I'm not okay. And it's like, it's like you gotta get over that moment.
It's true. It's true.
then you become a real boy.
One
And
day
then
I'll
stuff
figure it out.
happens.
One day I'll be a real boy.
But until that day,
I'll
like-
just be
until
the
that day-
best
until-
guy ever.
Until that day, like, share, subscribe, comment, subscribe.
Donate to my Patreon.
Patreon.com/cultcorona.
Oh, is that real?
This cult
It
has
should be.
gone to heaven.
Oh my god, you think I would rake in more money if I just made a Patreon for Cult Corona?
He's the only one we love anymore.
Watch it eclipse all of our Patreons in one day. I think Cult
I hope it
Corona
does.
is the only member of the PCP that is unanimously liked, like universally by everyone.
For sure. Agreed. Totally agreed.
And
I mean, people would all like Action Giraffe, but he's just too successful, and it really rubs some people the wrong way, you know?
Everybody hates Jess, but they love Cult Corona. They have no idea. I taught that horse boy everything he fucking knows.
I don't believe it. He's got a pure soul that you could never touch, Jesse. You can't teach that.
I
all right?
gave him that soul. I imbued it within him after stealing it from 1,000 babies.
you breathe life into him with a kiss.
I went to fucking China, and I took all the dead female babies' souls out of Maiden Estrella's swamp pit, and I put them into that horsey body, that horsey baby boy, and I created the perfect person.
The perfect person. The cutest and the strongest. The perfect
That's right.
person, Colt Corona.
With the soul of
man.
1,000 innocent newborn Chinese female babies.
Not tainted by the patriarchy one iota. Thank God.
They went to a good cause.
There's no
That's right.
patriarchy in the furnace room, ladies. Everybody come on in.
Oh my
It's
God.
a safe space for women everywhere. Women and horse boys.
So, who else is a time? I forget even what this fucking subject was. Like, when they wanted to die? Was that what it was?
It sort of merged into that. It was times we almost died, but there's only so many moments that you can even say. Like,
Yeah, that's
I was
true.
sick once. Doesn't
Yeah,
really
I mean, I
count.
don't know if it's like technically almost dying, but I do feel like living in this room for 6 years has dramatically decreased my lifespan.
Quite possible.
I feel like I'm generally 10,000 times less healthy than I was before I moved here.
You gotta run away. You gotta abscond.
I know.
Escape.
I gotta get all my
gotta-
stuff in like a stick with a little
bindle.
little bandana
A bindle.
on the
That would be a
on the
very
back.
big
bindle,
sack
right.
Yeah.
on a stick, because you got so many comics and games.
Yeah.
And
Comics
those would
and
be the only
games.
things you have. No, like
no food, no blankets.
Just a raft made out of long boxes filled with comics, and I'll sail the seas on them as all the
be
comics get
glorious.
wet and ruined. Sailing the seas of the man-child marsh.
So, I had a time that I wanted to die just for fun. I thought I'd bring this up.
Just
there
for
was
fun.
just
You
for fun. I
wanted
thought. So there was a time when I've said before there was a time when I was like really into like the pickup scene. And at one point, I made a critical error. A critical error. I would go out with my friends sometimes in Providence, and on this particular occasion, I made the crucial mistake of telling my friend Doug that like my plan for the day was to like talk to like X number of girls, just because for my own personal checklist to like get better at it. And oh god, what Doug did, Doug, you fucking traitor. I've never addressed this to him because I'm too embarrassed. But he then went around telling everyone like, hey, that guy's got a goal of like he's trying to talk to a bunch of girls tonight. Hey, every girl, go talk to him. What are you doing over here?
That's fucking helpful.
Yeah, he ruined it. He ruined it. Thank God, I'm so charismatic. I was able to spin it into a positive. But he should know nonetheless that it eats me up. It was the worst thing Doug has ever done to me in his life. And one day I'll work up the courage to tell him that that's the case.
You can't trust friends, man. You can't trust
No, you
your
can't.
friends.
You can't. Not with stuff like that. Anyway, not with stuff like that.
No.
So that was probably the time I was most embarrassed in my life, I think, and would have happily accepted death.
Lil.
Yeah.
Keck.
Yeah. Indeed. So, I mean, if anybody else doesn't have anything, we can just go to questions before Tom comes
I
back
got one.
and do.
I got one.
Okay, shoot.
There's one time in TF2 where I got headshot, and then
Oh, no.
the pyro
Oh,
got
no.
me with the fire, and I was on fire. I was like, oh no, I'm gonna die. And then there's a thing where a scout sometimes uses a weapon, and if he kills a guy, he drops a health pack, and he did that in front of me, and I got a health, and I lived. I almost died. I had 1 health left.
There was this one time in League of Legends, I don't know who I was playing, but I went down to 1 HP in this big team fight, but I didn't die.
God,
it was epic.
God, I fucking hate video games.
If you die in the game, you don't die for real.
I think that if you die in
the
the game, you should die for real, because then fucking people who play video games will all die, because video games are gay, and they're not art, and they're a sin and a crime.
But what if you read a book and a character dies? Would you die for real? In
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yes, you definitely should die.
let me tell you about. Let me go on a totally unrelated tangent that has nothing to do with anything, because I have the power to do that, and I'm going to abuse it. There's a scene in it's a French movie called The Rabbi's Cat, and it's animated and it's great. But there's like a Russian guy. It takes place in Algiers. It's like some like Muslim city, but with a big Jewish population. And there's kind of Middle Eastern.
Isn't that where from Camus is from?
Who the fuck's Kloppen?
I think it's Tom walking around.
Stop it! You damned innocent boy! You don't know what sin you're committing.
Okay, well, anyway,
and he's like,
okay, so
anyway,
Algiers, right?
So the main character is this rabbi, and there's this like Russian like adventurer guy, and he's like there in the city just doing on some shitty quest, and he's like, and they're talking with like his rabbi teacher and this kind of like fucking sort of like libertine Russian guy, and the Russian guy is like, you old men and your religion, I care about. I don't care about God or any of that bullshit. All I care about, he says, like, all I care about is, like, adventure, women, and literature. And,
ooh, yeah.
And the rabbi is like, man, those are all things for young men.
Whoa.
And I was like, oh my God.
Even literature.
This fucking guy.
Literature.
This fucking he basically, I mean, if literature is for young men, then all art is for young men. This guy, as far as I'm concerned, the guy completely threw all artistic endeavor under the fucking bus.
That's fascinating.
And you know what? I was like, oh my God, maybe he's right. In fact, to this day, I'm not convinced that he wasn't right. That literature and by extension all art is just kid shit, and we're all just fucking fooling ourselves.
I think, well, maybe
that's fascinating.
I know.
You do it while you're young, and you have the information, and now you don't need any more because you've got all of it.
Who was this guy?
Well, by the time
I didn't listen to the first half of the story, but now I'm intrigued.
It was a character in a movie called The Rabbi's Cat,
and he's.
You know what?
And he was like this fast living kind of like. Nasty, amoral, like libertine Russian dude.
Well, I can see his point.
Yeah.
That art is all worthless.
Oh no, it was the rabbi. The rabbi said that art is for young men.
Right.
Yeah.
They're like the established older gentlemen.
I think I kind of agree with that.
I agree. I was compelled.
Well, okay, here's from that guy's perspective. I think I see where he's coming from. Like, he's concerned about like his community and like the people he knows in his life, and like building for a
his
future.
Relationship
with
God and stuff is what's important to him.
Right.
And
right.
Like his,
so from that
family,
perspective, I totally get it.
Yeah.
I'm very utilitarian about my usage of art. I think that art that doesn't do anything useful is basically garbage. But if there's art with like a good message or is trying to convey something valuable to the people intellectually, I see a value in it there. But it's just like a tool, like anything else for the betterment of humanity. So I mean, I don't even think like God could do that, or you think just maybe, I don't know, like doing things with your community or talking to people and being, hey, I'm a cool rabbi in my neighborhood. What's up, peeps? That might just be a better way to spend your time.
Just made me wonder, like, this guy doesn't see any practical value in art, and you know what? He's fucking right. That's all there is to it.
Man, this is a big left turn. This is a big left turn of a topic, but I really like it. It's real cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's right. I think we can all agree art has no value and is a total waste of everyone's time.
It has
right?
utilitarian value, I suppose, but then there's
well, what value is there besides utilitarian? Spiritual?
All value.
Well, I'll tell you.
There's no such thing as inherent value.
I've never
go back to that, Ben. But Jesse,
I've never regretted a moment spent with like friends or loved ones. Whereas I have regretted everything artistic I've ever done in my life and everything that's come from it.
In spite of everything I just said, I feel totally the opposite. I have never regretted any time that I spent making anything, but I regret so much of the time I spent hanging out with friends.
Making is different from consuming. I feel a little bit like Ben. I don't really. There's only a few people I enjoy hanging out with in real life, and
even those people, it's not like I want to do it all the time.
Yeah, no, for
Yeah,
sure. There's
totally,
definitely
totally.
like a time limit on that.
But that's the thing. There's a balance to be found, you know. I think.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's a balance. Yeah.
I think it's like you need, on a more base level, you need human companionship more than you need to be entertained. Because like entertainment, as it is, it's art as entertainment is just to make you escape from reality, because reality's kind of shit.
On that first
if you have
point,
everything else, like you have food, you have shelter, you have family and friends, you don't really need anything else. But if you have all that, then I think art is is a nice little distraction, a nice little addition, like cherry on top, sort of.
And and to your first point, I mean, how much of the art that we consume, especially like anime and stuff, how much of that is just made to simulate human relationships, to take the place of the hole in our lives that art is just there?
A fucking lot of it.
A ton of it. So that's. Yeah, I'm converting to Judaism as we speak. That's what's happening.
like when people, I don't know, like if two people both read, two people are fans of like Harry Potter, right? Like two people love Harry Potter. What that means is that the two of them have fucking shared this simulated experience of like fucking being a wizard, right? And that's what it is. The art. What Harry Potter fucking does is simulate for anyone who reads it the experience of being a wizard child, and like I don't know where I'm fucking going with this. It's just I've
got a point to go with that.
It's weird and bizarre. It's weird and bizarre for me to think of it that way, but it makes sense to think of like art is just all art is just a simulation. Like it's basically no different than just putting on a VR headset. Like it accomplishes the same fucking thing.
Right, and in that way, like, you might ask the question, like, why not just with that person just go have an experience? Why not just do that, and then, like, bam, you've just, like, increased your human connection. But there is a difference there.
Hang on. I just want to say, one answer to that is that art can give you experiences that you can't actually have in real life. And
that's what I was going to say. That's what I was going to say.
And that's fair, but are those experiences more valuable than ones that you actually can have in real life?
That's exactly where I was going to go, too. Yeah, because, like, everything you experience in that way
is it valuable?
Like, there are things that you normally wouldn't get in life. And you know what? To some extent, I think they could be useful, because what an average human would experience in their life without VR, we cannot say for sure that it is necessarily the most optimal way to live your life in terms of pragmatically and enjoyment-wise. So there may indeed be a place for like simulated experiences in real life, but we should find out what that is. We should find that out.
I just want to say, but so the question for me then becomes: is it okay? Sure, art can give you experiences that you can't have in real life, but is it valuable to have experiences that are completely removed from reality?
We need to find that out. I don't know.
Yeah,
well,
I don't know. I don't fucking know.
I was gonna talk about the fact that he didn't like literature, and it's like not all art, because literature is a story.
This is like
I'm just gonna say that I think art in terms of like a painting, it's not the same sort of thing. It's just something that makes you think, or a sculpture, just something to look at, just to experience, something to make the place you live in feel more pretty and decorative.
I guess that's true.
Art as like as an expression of emotion is sort of different from art like literature and animation and film and stuff like that.
I mean, that's interesting, because the topic... hang on, man, let me say something.
I just want to say, I think he's got a good fucking point there. That's all I want to say.
Okay, well, fair enough. But I was going to say that I was actually just doing a little bit of reading. I was watching some video. I don't read anymore. There was something I was consuming, which was it was talking about the history of art, and it talked about how like classical artwork, specifically it was like paintings and like drawings and stuff like that, like was depicted things that we like understand as real experiences that could be had like as human beings. Like there was photorealistic pictures of like fruit, which is, you can appreciate the skill with which they crafted it, but really it's just a picture of fruit at the end of the day. And then there's also things like
the experience of fruit, which is a pleasant experience.
Hang on, I'm making a point. And then there was like there's also like depictions of great scenes which capture like a snapshot of human life. But again, that's basically like a real thing or a story that we can understand, and it's not really making any grander point other than illustrating perhaps the value of that thing as a human experience. But like modern art and postmodern art are taking that thing and turning it on its head, and they're exploring the ways, like, if that's even a valuable thing, by doing things like showing the absurdity of putting like just a drawing on a pedestal, or putting like, you know, something like a urinal, which is like this famous piece from the 30s, making a urinal with no special qualities, saying that that's art, and having people like comment on if that has any inherent value by itself. So it kind of raises the question about if any of this is valuable to begin with, and like how far does the stack of turtles go before we actually hit like something that we're like learning or like achieving through art, you know? You know what I mean?
Well, I think if a piece of art can help us to better improve our social life, or, you know, the base level stuff, the social life and the stability of your community. If art can help that, then I think it does have value in that way.
Personally,
sure.
I really hate...
I feel like art is useful in just making people feel better and being able to do things like that.
I mean, personally, I really hate the idea that, like, the purpose of art and the value of art is some, like, pragmatic, like, tangible benefit that it has on other areas
well, it seems
of life.
like
What else could there be? What else could there be?
There is none.
You're talking about, like, a pragmatic
So there just
value,
is none.
so that's
I don't
why
know.
I'm-
You can, like, art can have social benefit, but, like, I don't fucking think... I don't know, like if that's what art was, if the value of art was like it makes people feel better, it makes people not kill themselves, it makes people's communities better, I would not do it, because I don't think that's enough.
You wouldn't do it.
No.
Kill yourselves, fags. Kill yourselves.
I was only like presenting that as like a reason for art to be, so because like personally I think art is just like, if it's fun to make, then, you know, it's a fun pastime, that's good.
Yeah.
If it's fun to look at, then yeah, that's good. It's just nice.
Yeah. That's...
Why wouldn't you make art and have art?
Yeah.
There's just no reason to not have it.
It's totally agree.
The act of creating art doesn't have to necessarily be what people get out of it. Like, Ben, you could make something just because, like, I feel like doing this, but people could get something more pragmatic or like deep out of it that you never intended to do.
They could.
So it's really not like your responsibility to be
it's
like,
not cut and dry
this
either way.
But that's not why I do it. And
you know, I
don't think that's
good.
Go ahead. Like, personally, for me, that's not a good enough. That's not enough justification.
And I would say I do like that idea, but what I would do is I would scientifically like study what art form produces the best tangible results, and whatever that is, that's where I would focus like artistic endeavor if I controlled society, because I am interested in progressing and making cooler shit. Really, I'm talking about making art to make like the iPhone 8, or, you know, to like get to the next level, whatever.
If you want that, like,
yeah, go to Mars. You know, colonize Mars.
What you would do is you should make sci-fi fantasy, so that
I agree.
scientists will be inspired to make new. Because
I totally agree.
But I don't care about that as much as you seem to.
I'm curious. Ben brought up just the concept of value itself and like what we define as having value, and I think you were saying that there is no inherent value, and it's just what we
absolutely isn't.
I mean, it depends on what level you're talking about, because like at the deepest foundation, at some point, yes, we have to decide what we think is valuable, such as human life, or, you know, or currency, or, you know, all those things we have basically decided to place value on.
Yeah.
So I guess that's your point. That is
ultimately what it all boils down to.
Yeah, it
True.
depends on whether you think.
I mean, I guess.
You know, our nature as humans to procreate and keep the species going is. Like, do you believe that that's, you know, something that you agree with? Do you agree with your nature, or do you not care and think everything is valueless?
I just think that at a basic human level, we are more or less all able to agree on like the rules of the game, you know, what are generally winning moves and what are generally losing moves. And I think just once we've established that, then you can build a society. And I don't think it's crazy to establish rules like life is generally preferable to death, and like pleasure, or I guess lack of pain, is better than pain. You know, like things like that. And then from there you can find out ways to pursue all that stuff. And that's what I base my shit on.
Here's the point. Here's what it all boils down to. This is a spoiler. I'm gonna spoil the end of the Rabbi's Cat. It's a good movie.
Okay.
You should watch it, and don't let me spoil it. But I'm gonna spoil it anyway. You see, the rabbi and the Russian guy, and like a fucking what's the word for like a Muslim priest? Is it an imam? I think it might be an imam.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah, and an imam and a couple other guys, like some painter guy. They all get together and they embark on get this. They embark on a quest across Africa to find to find the shared ancestors of all blacks and Jews. Right?
Okay.
Yeah, they believe that all blacks and all Jews share a common ancestor, and they find a tribe.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah, and they and they find a tribe like hidden in Africa of these giant they're kind of like Aztec-looking warriors, but like they're so dark that like they're blue, like they're literally blue.
Okay.
And they're just these giant like 10-foot tall dudes, and they're all these big like fucking like African warriors living in this temple city, reading the Torah and like fucking giving each other bar mitzvahs and stuff.
Okay.
And they're there and they're like, hey, our brethren, but like, you know, they're so fucking removed from their culture that they can't even fucking understand what they're saying. They don't even, even though these guys come trying to forge a connection, they're like, oh shit, an intruder. We're so removed from culture that like we can't understand this as anything other than an intrusion and we must destroy. And so it doesn't really work. They do find the shared ancestor of all blacks and Jews, but they do not make peaceful contact. And it's a really good movie.
I mean, so there were like people in Saudi Arabia, and then Muhammad was born, and then, you know, like people became Islamic.
And the rest is history.
You know? I mean, I don't think those people were Jews though. I think they were unrelated.
I don't think that there actually is a fucking common. I don't fucking.
Okay, all right.
I can't speak to the fucking historical veracity of anything that I just said. That's just what happens in the movie.
That's what happens in the story. Okay, all right, sure. Does that have any? I'm just trying to think of
that has absolutely no bearing on anything. I just wanted to say it because it's really funny.
Oh, okay.
I was trying to figure it out.
No, this is not going anywhere.
Why?
This is not going anywhere.
Okay, fair enough. All right, good to know.
Just
good
wanted to
like most of Ben's
Ben's
contributions, adds nothing to the podcast. So thanks again for that, Ben. Appreciate it.
I was thinking about that. What the rabbi said. What was it? Women, literature, and something else.
It was women.
It was something women and literature, and that's all he cares about.
And he said it was for young men.
The rabbi
said they were bad. It was,
no, the rabbi said those are for young men.
Yeah, so they have a purpose. It's just.
Yeah.
Not for me. I'm old.
You know, maybe his point. Maybe we were totally wrong, and he's more like a guy that like, okay, when you're young, pursue these things to like develop a life philosophy, but when you're old, stick with it or something like that.
But
you know?
if a thing,
wait,
if a thing's value eventually goes away, like if a thing is no longer valuable once you're old, was it ever fucking valuable?
I mean, maybe his point is just that our brains solidify and we're not as able to absorb new ideas in an effective way.
But this fucking comes back around to that thing about how I hate to think. I don't believe that art's value is the fucking pragmatic, the tangible benefits that it has on, like, it makes us function better or something. I don't accept that. So
okay, well, we would need to talk to this guy and get his point.
All value and everything is completely subjective. So if you don't feel it has value, that's fine. But that doesn't devalue it to other people.
Yeah. No, of course. But For me, I don't think that, like, if, art is valuable because young men read it and it makes them better people. I don't think that's good enough, and I hate that. So if that's this guy, if that's what this rabbi believes, then I have to say that I'm not satisfied with it.
Okay, fair enough. Jesse, what were you saying?
I think that art just isn't valuable because people watch it and people are dumb and they don't deserve it.
Yeah. Are the people who make it dumb too?
So I think that art is only worthless so much in that human beings are worthless.
Well, that's
and
if human beings are worthless and art is for human beings.
I think that human beings
definitely true.
I think that art is for me, and I think that human beings just exist to ruin art wherever they go by not being me and not appreciating it correctly. But that's not what I was going to say. That's a different tangent.
One day you and me will pull a Columbine on this whole country, Jesse.
Thank God,
and then we'll
finally.
See. Yeah, then we'll find out who's the real artist in town.
Then we'll find out who's the real procrastinators.
Yeah, we'll get around to Columbining America eventually.
The ultimate procrastination.
We all get together for RadCon 10, and we're just like. And, Digi's just passing out guns, and he's like, are you with us or against us?
Oh, God. If we fucking get to 10 RadCons, I will start killing people. It's not even a joke.
Somebody's got to start dying by then. Somebody's got to die.
Yep, agreed.
To keep the content fresh, somebody has to die each time.
Oh god.
We do like
I
a
definitely
poll
think
to
that
see.
we're at the critical mass where if we add any new members, an old member needs to leave this fucking group.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, maybe now's a good time to bring up the fact that, hey guys, we've been getting messages every once in a while just saying like, hey dude, what do I have to do to join the PCP? And like, oh, I can't wait till I can join. I just want to let everybody know that we are not looking for new members. And if you're confused by Munchie and Mumkey's recent addition, those are guys that we've known for a while, especially Munchie. And like, they were always sort of like, they're our buddies, and they were sort of being introduced after a while.
Mistake has been made somewhere along the line in that we've sort of accidentally presented the PCP as like a club. I think giving it a name even was wrong because we're
it was a necessary evil though because we had to call it something.
Yeah, like I never set out to be
true.
part of a club. I don't consider myself part of a group. I just this is a goofy podcast with guys that I kind of like sometimes. And I don't know. I just see you guys as friends, and we're not a fucking like coalition of creators on some mission to add people.
Totally
If
I mean,
any more people get added, I'll leave.
I never saw it that way either, but like the people that listen sometimes do seem to see it that way, and they love it. So I mean, that's. Yeah.
If they choose to interpret it that way, that's fine. And I've wanted to work with you guys for years, which is why we started this, so that we could do something. And there's no avoiding being grouped together when you're making something. So it's a sacrifice I'm willing to.
Yeah, but like there's no path to like earning your way in. It's just
that's true.
Like
that's
the
true.
PCP is just who we all happen to know and like, and occasionally maybe want to fucking work with on stuff.
Like Mumkey was a guy who we found and we all instantly liked, and then we got to know him over like a year, and then it was just like, hey, let's just bring him in to do stuff, and then it just was perfectly natural to add him. So I mean, just like, I don't know, if you're a creator and you are making perfect stuff.
The thing about
I don't know, maybe
all that is that people will just think, well, I mean, they say I'm not allowed in, but if I'm like a really good content creator, maybe they'll just like me and they'll
look.
Well, I have a problem with that. If that encourages,
if you're a pretty girl,
Jess.
if you're a pretty girl and you have sex with me, then you can be my friend. But you still can't be in my fucking PCP.
I wanted to hear where Hippo was going with that.
Well, I mean, people are gonna like assume they can like if they make good enough content, they can get in the group, and that's the thing is.
Well,
we could always. It's not like we're saying, oh, no one will ever be our friend, because that's not true. We will make friends eventually with other people who are cool.
probably.
Sure.
It's just that this particular group, it's not really something you can join and just suddenly be in the chat. We'll make friends and make connections and be in like other little groups, but it's just this is sort of like full.
We're just getting a lot of prepositions lately from people that we then have to spurn and break their hearts. It's like being a single white woman. Guys are coming after me, sniffing around my cooter. I just want to focus on my career. I just want to be a lawyer. In the big city.
It's like
in the big city. Make it on your own.
It's like being the only femboy at the jailhouse dance. It's a real. Everyone wants your attention, and you can't service everybody who comes knocking at your
There's
cell door.
only enough booty for one man at a time.
That's right. So stop asking that question.
That's the fucking point. Fuck off.
Shut up.
Shut up and fuck off. But we love you anyway.
I
We
don't.
do. Now,
Okay.
there you
Some
go.
of us do.
So, should we swing back, Tom? Do you have time to tell us your stories now, dog?
I mean, I can. I feel like we've gone off like the existential like deep end, and I feel like coming back to like
That's true.
Seems a little.
I just wanted to give you an opportunity if you wanted. I mean, maybe there's one that's particularly interesting or something.
I
don't know.
mean, the only one that was even semi-interesting was when I almost killed myself from working too hard. And I feel like I've told this
sounds
story
relevant.
before. I don't know if it was.
I don't think I've heard it.
I think I've
it
heard
was-
bits and pieces of it.
It was back when like I first got started doing horse stuff, and I was working a job, and I was working all night on making the picture book, and I was downing fuck tons of energy drinks. I'd have
I remember this a little
I've
bit.
had like 3 a day, and my
What?
heart was
You
like
cut out.
tweaking out, and I had to go
can't
to the
hear
hospital.
a fucking thing.
And I was there for like a few
Yeah,
hours.
yeah.
I was sitting with my dad. He was just like,
Hello?
"You're fucking retarded," and I'm like, "Yeah." Yeah, that's true.
Thanks, Dad.
And then like they had me like hooked up to one of those like heartbeat monitor things.
Am I still in this?
And it was weird because it would like skip a beat like every time you could like see it as it did it.
Oh my god.
And then like it just shut off. We're just like, oh fuck, I should get like my dad's like, oh, I got to get somebody, like the equipment fucked up. And I'm like, yeah, I guess. And then like 3 seconds later, like my whole body went numb and cold. And
boy.
And I was just like, it's not the equipment. My heart.
Were you still
stopped.
conscious at the time?
Yeah, I was
assume
conscious.
you were.
I was conscious.
Yeah,
I couldn't
okay.
move. I couldn't. Like my whole body. It felt like instantly I was in a freezer, because like my heart stopped. So there was no blood circulating, and I was just dying. And for like it was a solid like 15 seconds before it like beat really hard, and like my whole body jolted and it started again. And like that was the closest I came to death, was like when my heart stopped for like a very noticeable amount of time.
Fascinating. Holy
and on
shit.
that note,
Okay.
thank you for listening to the Procrastinators podcast.
Sorry,
Speaking of death,
my
yeah.
connection died. Did I miss anything?
No, I mean you can listen back. He told his story, and it was equally traumatic as the first time I heard it.
Oh, I missed it. Dang it.
Listen back, goddammit.
All
Listen to the
right.
rest of the audience. It'll
Yeah.
be there.
No, tell it again. Make the audience sit through it a second
I've
time.
never listened to a PCP episode, and I won't start now.
Yeah.
What a hero. All right, well, how about we shift over to questions now? What do you say, folks?
I'm down.
Let's
Maybe
let's
one
do
or
it.
two.
Yeah, okay.
We have run pretty long. We're at like an hour, over an hour.
We're at an hour and 20 minutes. Let's see here. What do we got? I think there was some decent ones here. Fill time. Somebody fill time. Gib, what's your favorite color?
Blue. No.
Why? You're fired.
Yeah, that's the one. There's that what the reference.
Hey, here's a fun one to fill a little bit of time. Okay, by @batsling1234, would someone take up this challenge? Describe the PCP to someone who never uses the internet.
Oh man.
It's a bunch of guys and a girl,
A bunch
and
of
then mage. Oh.
Oh, got her.
But who's the girl? No one will know.
It's a loose coalition of gays in a straight world.
United against
Yeah.
the oppressive matriarchy.
Do you remember that one kid in your kindergarten class that ate glue? Imagine if there were like 7 of them and they all
That
talked
was
to each other for an hour. That's
Do you say
pretty
that
much-
was you, Gib?
No, I didn't eat glue. I liked putting glue on my hands and then peeling it off when it dried.
Oh
That's kinda
fuck
fun.
yeah, dude! Oh fuck yeah, that was the shit.
Yeah,
that was the
fuck yeah,
jam,
dude.
dog. I'm serious.
I remember doing that a little bit. Okay, here's another question. Oh shit, where'd it go? Gib, this one is directed at you. Well, it's actually not specifically, but it's for you. It's just, have any of the PCP members played Fire Emblem Heroes, and what are your thoughts and your main
yes.
teams?
Let me look at my main team
I
right now.
actually am
It's right in
playing this
front of
game
me.
currently as well.
Oh yeah, I'm not playing it because I already played too many mobile games.
I got Lissa from Fire Emblem Awakening, Florina from my favorite game ever, Kane from something, and Faye the dragon. And I got their like 4 and 5 star characters, and they're really good, and the game's great, and I like it, and it's good, and I like it.
So I was just curious. Oh, sorry. Go on, Tom.
I
Go
was
on,
just
Tom.
gonna say I only started a couple days ago. I have nobody good. My summons have been shitty. I only have 3-star guys, except for one 4-star ninja dude who's kind of cool. The game's really fun.
You got fucked.
I got fucked, and every time my guy levels, there's just like 1 stat boost, and like that's it. So like I can't even win the training missions now. So I might have to just restart entirely. The game's
maybe.
fun. The only thing I don't like is the fact, and not even that I don't like it, but I just find it odd that because they outsourced all the art to a bunch of different people, like there's like 15 different art styles in the game, and it doesn't really mesh
Yeah.
very
Well,
well.
isn't I thought they were recycling art styles from like the original games for some. Is that not true?
I think
no, they're all
okay.
different, but some of them definitely look more interesting.
Well, that's
and dynamic
annoying.
than others.
I can see why that would clash. I would at least expect it to be like one
Yeah.
By the
studio
way,
or something.
the voice actor for Florina is the cutest ever, and if you get her, you will enjoy the fact that she goes when you click on her.
Gib, please
so
make a video
cute.
where you document these audio sounds so because they're not on the internet and I want to hear
Yeah,
them.
I will. I'm gonna make a minuscule review.
Oh, excellent, fantastic! I'm looking forward to it. What was I going to say? Oh, the only reason I'm at all tempted to play that game is because I'm sure it's the reason 99% of people play, because I want to see Camilla and Lynn and just be around them because they're the hottest women you know, ever. That's it. That's the only reason.
They're like so hard to get. There's like a 3% like rate of getting like one of those 5-star characters.
Yeah.
So you have to grind it to infinity.
Yeah, I'm very lucky in that I've already got 2 5 stars, so that's good.
Here's a question, Jesse. This one's for you.
Oh no.
How do I become a sweet shirt? First of all, does he even want to be a sweet shirt?
Yeah, that's.
No, sweet shirt's good. Yeah, you just gotta wear sweet shirts.
Well, yeah, it's the combination of the sweet boy and the shit shirt, but it's not like actually a combination. It's just a combination of the word. But a sweet shirt is like the
a sweet
coolest.
boy is bad. A shit shirt is definitely bad. A
Of
sweet's
Somehow-
probably the worst. But a sweet shirt is like right in that happy medium of traits for a human to possess.
Damn.
All you
Would
gotta
you
do.
describe yourself as a sweet
What about a
shirt?
shit boy?
I haven't quite cracked the code on shit boy yet.
I think I'd like to give that one a spin
You
sometime.
know, all you gotta do to be a sweet shirt is just wear sweet shirts.
Damn.
And
As easy
you know,
as that?
yeah. But I mean,
You know what? It's like Othello. It's a minute to learn, a lifetime to master.
yeah,
That's
well,
right.
You know,
That's right.
it's more complicated than people think. I mean, people don't realize, you know, what constitutes a sweet shirt. You can't just throw any old rag on. You can't just have some shirt with some shit you like on it, because some shirts are cluttered. The designs are too complicated. Some shirt, you know, I'll give people some advice for finding a sweet shirt. It, you know, look for simplicity, look for like something that's iconic, look for logos. Always be on the lookout for logos and that,
Like the Patreon logo.
like the Patreon, like the
Yeah,
I
yeah.
should get a shirt with
that's
that.
the one.
Who did that?
You
Who,
should.
There was that. What was that fan art of the PCP logo made out of Patreons? That was
Dude,
Yeah,
Tom
yeah.
did that.
I
Tom
did
made
that.
that.
What?
You did, dude.
We met
The
Yeah,
best
I know
fan
the
of
PCP
all, a
episode
guy
one.
who's here.
That's great. You know, that's an emote. That's a fucking reaction image or an emoticon or whatever you fucking call them in the fan Discord now.
That's great.
I saw that
you know,
tweeted.
I
I
could
saw that
make
tweet. It was
shirts
pretty
of
cool.
those. I have a shirt press at home. I could.
It's-
just make
Oh my God, dude. Let's.
I would
all right,
wear
let's
the
get serious.
shit
Let's
out
talk
of
about
that.
this. Let's talk about selling these things.
Why
at some
don't we
point in
have
the
merch
future.
of that? That's transformative.
Because it
enough
takes
to
effort,
sell
and
it.
I'm the only one who does anything
Oh my
besides
God.
Jesse,
I can
besides
do that. It's
Digi, who
super
edits them
easy.
together.
I'll do that and the iTunes. Jesus Christ, someone has to fucking step up to the plate.
I know someone does. By the way, I'm sorry. I wanted to say the names of the people after these questions. I forgot to. The Fire Emblem question was by @HoodedLefty, and fuck, where there's a fucking question. I can't remember what it was. Oh, the sweet shirt was by @TrackMasterTrack. So thanks, guys. And one more question here, and this was actually I'm taking this one because this was personal. Jesse, this was sort of a question for you. This actually wasn't a
But you're
question at all.
taking it.
It was just. I'm taking it because I have a personal interest because I watched a video about it. Even though I didn't watch it, the only good Royal Rumble this year was by @TP Crastinators, by the Procrastinators. Fuck Roman. That was by Jeniz Maku Domaru. And I was just wondering, I tweeted before, there was this compilation of everyone disappointed that the 30th Royal Rumble man was fucking Roman Reigns. And I was just wondering how that worked out. What went down?
Well, they just won't quit. They won't give up on the
Dude,
Roman
the
Reigns
boos.
thing. They won't accept that like Roman Reigns is not going to happen. They can't accept
Yeah.
it, and they keep trying. It's been like 3 years of him getting booed out of the building, and they just won't stop.
Did he win? Did he win
He
the
didn't
thing?
win, thank God. But it's like it was especially
good.
dumb because like he had already had a match earlier in the night.
Oh.
For like,
Okay.
and like the match earlier in the night was for the championship, and he lost. And the
good.
the prize of the Royal Rumble is a chance to get a championship match. So it's like, if he was already in a championship match that night and lost, how in the fuck did he get a spot in the Royal Rumble
That's a
in
great
that 10
question.
minutes? Like you'd assume that the spots are filled up before the fucking show starts. Like, did
Yep.
he go after his match and like assassinate whoever was supposed to be number 30 and take their spot? If they had showed that, it would have been okay. But it's just a weird,
I hope
dumb plot hole.
it was Glue Man.
It was going to be the
Fucking
premiere.
Glue Man, he was finally about to make his debut, and Roman took him out.
That monster. I was going to say that there was another new contender was going to take that 30th spot, but he was assassinated, and the crowd could just hear the faint sounds from backstage during the during the vile act. Okay, that's it, everybody. All right, thanks for listening. Thanks for sending your questions.
We done?
Make sure to send us.
We're
done.
We're done. Finished? Okay.
We mined all the good questions, and all that's left is garbage. So keep
Sweet.
stepping up your game, people. Better questions, for fuck's sake. Even the ones that were acceptable were not good enough.
Don't ask us about anime. Fuck you. We're not an anime
we
show.
hate anime. We're not. It's not even that we hate anime. We just hate you for asking us about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is not an anime podcast, in case that wasn't clear. So, fuck you, buddy. And
seconded.
one guy.
Seconded.
yeah. And I was gonna say. Everybody, but still tweet us good questions at TP Crastinators throughout the week and on Saturdays especially, because that's when we will read them. As we're doing the goddamn show. So
Oh,
there you
hey,
go.
we should shout out the wiki.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Oh, that's totally true.
We were gonna shout out
everybody,
the fucking wiki.
There is a Procrastinators podcast wiki
It's-
with lots of lore and stuff.
It's new.
At,
it needs work. It needs
It
your
needs some
your help.
attention.
It needs your help, viewers. To fucking.
That's right.
Dane X Jack has begun it, and there's stuff on there, but it's a community project. It's a fan wiki. So if you've got thoughts about our shit, go contribute them there. What's the here? It's
The
https
Procrastipedia.
procrastipedia.mirahees.org. That's
We'll have a link in the
Procrastipedia.
description.
we'll put a link in the description. Yeah.
Procrastipedia.mirahees.org. Yeah, link in the description.
And so just so you know, most of the stuff there was not made by us. So there's totally possible
It's
that
a
there's
fan-
tons of
yeah,
inaccuracies,
it's
whatever there is.
Definitely all
It's a fan
terrible.
wiki.
I definitely want to die looking at it.
The only good page is the one that Munchie made for the Undertaler 587, which has extensive lore.
Oh, God,
It
I
wasn't-
haven't read that yet.
lore didn't even exist until he started writing that page, and he's just going ham, fleshing out.
That immediately.
That's the only.
He's a code. It's been established that the Undertaler is a code red threat.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
Watch out for that guy.
that's my favorite part.
Code red threat.
Yeah.
We need to establish a whole system of codes now based off that.
The implications are far-reaching.
No doubt. Thank you, Munchie. We appreciate your spirit and your hard work. Okay, thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you next week. Make sure to send us questions at TP Crastinators. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
I hate you. Yeah. I'm supposed to be working right now. I'm supposed to be working right now. But I'm not working. I'm doing nothing. My dick I'm jerking. Myself I'm sucking. I am an asshole. I am a stupid. I've got a deadline. Don't wanna do it. What the hell is wrong with me? I'm supposed to be making money. I'm supposed to be creating funny things that the people gladly will pay for. Artistic genius, that's what they came for. Instead, I'm tweeting, hashtag repeating. That's why there's no heat and holes in the ceiling. Yeah, it's quite the burden. It's a hard knock life, being a genius.